G'day, welcome to another episode of Country Life on the Coast. In this episode, we're going to get into the concrete edging of our garden bed. The first thing we're going to do is cut the grass with our turf cutter. So we'll use that just to clear up the edge for us, show exactly where the concrete edge is going to go. We've done a video of this before, so I'll link that in the description below if you want to have a look at that. And that explains a lot more of how this operates. Once we've done that, we'll move over to our concrete edging machine. So you put the concrete in here and the ram just pushes the concrete through the mold, and then it drives this machine backwards by pushing it. You'll see that in operation soon. But you have a choice of different profiles, and this is actually the one we've used before, and we'll continue to use it just to make it more uniform. So we'll attach this to the machine, and then we just start putting the concrete in. We'll fire it up, put the concrete in, and away we go. Once we've finished that, there's the hand tools just to smooth it out at the end as well. So that's really it. Quite a simple operation, but works really well. Let's get into it. We're going to mix up some cement for our concrete edging now. A little bit different in that we're just using sand, no rocks involved, and there's a bit of more of a challenge with mixing it. So we actually use the bucket so that we measure out 4 parts of sand to 1 part cement, and hopefully get the consistency right. There's a real window of it being either too dry or too wet. We're going to see how we go. Hopefully we get it right. If it's too wet, when you put it through the machine doesn't roll through the way it should, and it won't stay formed the way it should. And if it's too dry, it won't compress and won't form up properly as well. So we'll bring the mixer over and measure out 4 parts sand, 1 part cement. See how we go. we've got our cement mixed up. I meant to say before that another option you've got too is you can add an oxide to it to colour it to, you know, oranges and reds and that sort of thing, to whatever suits your requirement. We've left ours grey just to keep it simple. So we're about to start this and do the concrete edging. Just a couple of things just to point out. It's got a level on it so that your edging remains level all the time. So it's a sort of a two-man job really, because someone needs to shovel, and then it can be tricky to keep this level and to steer it as well. So because it pushes itself this way, you can just steer it, and that's what we're going to need to do as we go around the corner. And yeah, just keep winding this up and down to keep it level. We should be right. So we'll fire them up and get into it. I wouldn't normally turn the machine off while we've started, but just wanted to show you what the problems can be when you have too wet a mix. So it's just not forming and not driving the thing forward, coming out the front there and not doing what it should be doing at all. So we're going to have to, we'll need to clean this up, do something to dry it out a bit first before we continue on, because this is not going to work like this. Alright, one option we have to try and make it drier is to put some more concrete with it. No? Mix some more cement with it.
Today's edging project, we are showing you the differences in the mixes when you make your concrete. Mixing the concrete correctly is everything. Our first batch that we made today, it was a little bit wet. We had a bit of trouble trying to move it. And as you can see on the sides here, it's kind of spilled out. It will dry okay. It will still look good at the end, but it's a lot harder to do and it's a little bit messy. The grass will cover that and so will the garden, but that's not the ideal mix. And then over here is our second batch. This batch over here, this batch here is a little bit dry. You can see how it's dry on the side compared with the previous batch, which is still smooth and shiny. Again, it will dry okay. It moved a lot quicker than the first batch, which is more ideal, but it's a little bit dry, so you see we're getting these little holes. We might even get a couple of cracks, but it's not too bad. Ideally we want to mix a little bit in between the two of them, and hopefully our next mix will be exactly that.
Guys, next day, and I'll show you we did get the concrete edging all done. I'll show you how it looks. So this was the end that was a bit on the too wet side. It's come up okay now that it's dry, and it's just not as well formed, I suppose is the way to put it, as it should be, but it'll do. As you can see, the chickens have been scratching around it already today, so and then this bit through here was the bit that, I don't know, didn't mix properly, so we're gonna have to see how this lasts. I'm not sure it'll last. We might have to pull out a section and redo some of it. And this bit here, I think, was the bit that we mixed up perfectly, so I don't know. There's some, like I said, when mixing, there's a sort of little window that is perfect, and if you miss it, well, you deal with the consequences, I suppose. So there's part of me that didn't want to show this video with all the mistakes we've made and the problems that we've had with it, but you know what, I think sometimes you can learn just as much from things going wrong as what you can from things going right. So we've uploaded this video to show you maybe things not to do, and you know, it's all a learning experience. We got to continue to learn every day. We're going to get better that way. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. That's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time. God bless.